Welcome to Authors Selling Direct. I'll get right into it. Free. Let's talk about free. I'm talking ebooks. As you will know, plenty of authors give away ebooks for free, typically a first in a series free, and they hope for read through on the retailers. And Apple is the retailer in particular which encourages first in series free. And Kobo doesn't so much like it. It usually works well on Google. But all that aside, lots of people do first in series free. Lots of people give away free on the retailers. Let's face it, it is hard to get traction on the retailers if you're new, and people have their reasons, but keep it for the retailers. Do not bring it across to your e-commerce store. Now let's review the facts. There are two types of people. Those two types of people. Those who will take your free product and they have no intention of buying from you. They never want to see you again. They just want your free stuff, and then you can take a running jump. And the other sort of people, they will get your free book and then they will read through to the rest of the series, and then they become a customer. But if they don't become a customer and they're the first sort of people, they're not a customer. They're a freebie seeker. So you've got customers and you've got freebie seekers. And people who buy on Kindle Unlimited can become quite violently angry when somebody takes their books off KU. And so many authors have told me that they get hate mail from a lot of readers when they take a book off KU. And that would be a stereotypical person who wants free stuff. I know they pay for Kindle Unlimited, but, it's free for all intents and purposes. They do not want to pay for the book. They do not want to pay $5.99 for a book. They want to pay for their Kindle sub and so on. So let's examine why somebody might want to sell free from their e-commerce store. The main reason is because they're not actually thinking about it. They're just bringing their retailer mindset across. But let's say they are thinking about it. Why would they do it? Well, one of the main reasons is they're hoping for read-through. So many people have said to me, oh, my ad has done so well on Facebook. It's fantastic. And I say, oh, how much money have you made? Oh, nothing. It was to a free book. Okay, that doesn't mean a thing. People might hit number one on Amazon. I've hit number one free on Amazon. What does it matter? It doesn't matter at all. It's irrelevant. Have you got read through? How much money did you make in your read through? That's all that counts. Purchases, how much money did you make? Take off the wishful thinking mindset. A lot of people selling on the retailers have developed a wishful thinking mindset, and fair enough, because you don't own the customer. As I'm always banging on about this, when you're selling on the retailer, on any retailer, you do not own the customer. The retailer owns the customer. You know nothing about the customer unless by some chance the customer emailed you and said, I love your book, blah, 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 or got you on Facebook. But otherwise, you have no idea who's bought your books. You can't retarget, you can't remarket to that customer. The retailer does all that. So you have no idea who that person is. So a lot of authors have developed the habit of throwing mud at the wall and hoping some sticks, because let's face it, selling on the retailers, you're restricted in so many ways with what you can do. So they would like to have huge email lists, and they're hoping some of these people buy. But you could have an email list of 50,000 and you might be lucky to have 50 people from that buy, and the rest just are hoping for freebies. And that's quite typical. That's not an unusual thing. So there's the throw mud at the wall where someone's hoping for read through. It's a gamble. They might as well go and bet on a racehorse, let's face it. Now, the other reason is the old training again, the old training furphy. They want someone to see it's easy to buy on BookFunnel. So they think if I give them a free book, they will figure out how easy BookFunnel is. Let me tell you, if someone paid for something, they're going to figure it out for themselves. They'll have motivation, won't they? And people aren't stupid. If someone's going to have trouble figuring out how to download a paid book, that same person will have the exact same trouble figuring out how to download a free book. Well, actually, they'll have more trouble with the free book because they won't value it as much. You don't need to train people to buy on BookFunnel or buy from your store. It's not the Dark Ages. It's not the 18th century. Women have the vote these days. We've progressed. People know how to use the internet. Let's face it. Now, another reason is the email list. Touched on this a bit before. They want a huge email list. But let's get to the point. What's the purpose of a huge email list? It's not just for fun. So you can sit there and think, oh, goody gumdrops, I have 100,000 people on my email list. What is the purpose? Let's get to the nitty-gritties. What is the purpose of your huge email list? It is to get customers who will buy and give you money, who will buy your books and pay you money, isn't it? That's the purpose. So what is the point of having a big email list full of freebie seekers who never intend to buy from you? And also it affects deliverability, because if you do a giveaway, a lot of people will mark it as spam, a lot of people will unsubscribe, or they just won't open your email, and it affects your deliverability. You don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry out there and Uncle Fred and Aunt Mabel on your email list if they don't intend to buy from you. You want people who will buy from you. You want a high average order value. You want a high lifetime customer value. You don't want to fill up all your life in your store with freebie seekers, because some will never buy from you. Now, another reason people like to give away free is what I call the woe is me. They're like, oh, woe is me. Who's ever going to buy from me? Amazon is so big. I can't compete with Amazon. I will give stuff away so people will buy from me. And they're like, oh, please, the whole store comes with this. Please buy from me. Please buy from me. Just give me what you think I'm worth. Just buy from me. I don't care. Just buy from me, please, please, with their cap in hand, begging for people to buy from them. And that's not a good look. It's not professional. Do you see anyone outside the book world do it? No, you certainly don't. So come from a position of power. Come from a position of power knowing that your books are good. People are going to want them. They're going to read them and they will pay for them. And while I'm on the subject, don't ever sell for less than what you sell on the retailers, thinking that will encourage people to buy. It doesn't. Typically, low prices, as I'm always saying, low prices have nothing to do with cold audiences. Usually, if you want to give a discount, your hot and your warm audiences will like these discounts, but usually cold audiences are not driven by price. They're driven by whatever your hook is. So you've got to hook them in. The next thing is new people. So a lot of people are new to an e-commerce store. They might be new authors and they think, who's ever going to buy from me? I'll give them some free stuff. Big mistake. Every single e-commerce store out there that started from scratch would say the same thing, but do you see them giving away free stuff? Did the Oodie give away free Oodies? I don't think so. Did a running store give away free running shoes to get people to buy from their store? I don't think so. See, it's not logical. So try to set aside your retailer thinking and try to put on your e-commerce hat. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Aunt Mabel or Fred Blogs is on all the forums, on all the Facebook groups saying they made a fortune with free and how well free is working for them. Let me say to you, was this person a 7-figure author on the retailers first? And as I'm always saying, whatever you're making on the retailers, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to make that on your own store pretty quickly. So if someone's saying, I've made 7 figures on my Shopify store, say, was this person a 7-figure author on Amazon? Or was this person a 1-figure author on Amazon and suddenly they've made 7 figures on Shopify? Can you see the difference? If you're a 3-figure author on Shopify and you suddenly make 6 figures, that is far more successful than someone who's 7-figure taking it across. You see what I'm saying? So it's short-term gain for long-term pain. And why is that? Well, we'll start with the pixel, the Facebook pixel. Now, as I'm always saying, Facebook goes out and does what you tell it to do. It doesn't think for itself, and it's not a mind reader. Facebook is not a magical wizard with a magical wand who knows what you want. It only knows what you tell it to do. So, for example, if you're running traffic ads to the retailers, Facebook goes out and gets you traffic. If you're running a sales ad to your store and you choose purchase event, Facebook will go out and look for purchases. And here's the thing, listen to this, it's super, super important. If you are running a Facebook ad to free in your store, and you typically will give away a lot of stuff free, Facebook will then think these free people are conversions. It will be confused. And then the pixel will go out and look for anyone who will get stuff for free. But you don't want that. You want money coming into your store. And that's a major problem. So the pixel's a major problem. And also it could easily devalue your brand. So if you want to do free and you don't listen to me and you're listening because someone who's already making a fortune on the retailers and is now selling direct says they're doing very well with free, please have a little bit of critical thinking here. Have a little bit of critical thinking. Think of the pixel. Now, that's not my opinion. How the Facebook pixel works is not my opinion. It's a cold, hard fact. It's evidence. It's a cold, hard fact. This is what it will do. There are too many opinions in the author world. Everyone's saying, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? Let's look at the evidence. Let's look at the evidence here. How does a Facebook pixel work? You do not want your Facebook pixel to be mixing up your freebie seekers with your purchases. Now, these days, back in the day when I started, when Kindle first came out, when I started on the retailers, I was selling for a long time before that, direct. But when Kindle first came out and people started selling on the retailers, free was more of a thing and more people got them. But these days, people's Kindles are full of free. They're full of free. Who doesn't have, is there anyone out there who doesn't have 50 free books on their Kindle or on their device or Kobo Reader, whatever, Nook Reader, iPad? Heaps and heaps of free books. They're not valued, are they? But if you paid for a book, you would value it more. So if someone pays $5.99 for a book, they're going to read it. They're not just going to let it sit there for a month or maybe 6 years and maybe never get to it. Like so many people have had books in KU years ago and they're surprised that they're still getting pages read. It's because the people didn't have to pay up front for the books. And so, years later, they're starting to tick over. And this is typically what happens. But when you pay for something, there's the sunk cost effect. So just think, if you say there are two people, say there are two sisters, and one pays in advance to go to the gym, comes out of her bank account, she can't stop the contract and she has to pay $50 a month. But her sister, for some reason, has got it for free. Who do you think is going to keep going to the gym? It's perceived value, and of course it's also real value. But someone who gets stuff for free doesn't value it as much as somebody who pays for something. And don't think people won't pay. The retailers like to have low prices on items because that's not where they make their money. If you don't know what I mean, go back and listen to my earlier videos about the McDonald's 30-cent ice cream cone. Books are like the 30-cent McDonald's ice cream cone that the authors are providing to the retailers so the retailers can go and sell couches, big ticket items worth hundreds of dollars each to the customer, and they can upsell and they can remarket, re-engage, cross-sell to that customer. When you're selling on the retailers, you can't, but you can when you're selling on your store. And put aside short-term gain because it will bring you long-term pain, and think you want people who will purchase from your store. You do not want freebie seekers. You want people who will purchase, and you want people who will purchase a lot. You do not want, it's better than free, but you don't want someone who's going to purchase your $6.99 ebook. You want people who will take the cross sell, take the upsell, buy bundles, and come back for more. You don't want your e-commerce email list full of freebie seekers, because that's confusing everything. It's not the way e-commerce works. You want people who buy, you want people who have a higher customer lifetime value. When you run a Facebook ad, it's cost of customer acquisition. It's not just a sale. When you sell on the retailers, it's just a sale because you lose the customer. As soon as you run a Facebook ad to a retailer, you're handing that customer to the retailer. Here you go. You're welcome. Keep my customer. When you sell from your store, you have that customer and you can remarket to that customer, cross-sell, upsell, and so on. But if that's a freebie seeker that never intends to buy, you've wasted your resources. You're paying your email service provider for that person. You're confusing Facebook pixel. You're stuffing up your whole business, let's be frank. Okay. Now, if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to me, but I'm telling you the facts. These are the facts. This is the evidence. It's how it all works. So please don't be fooled by people who say you must have free, because I'm talking about Shopify. I'm not talking about anything else here, or your own author store. I'm not talking about other strategies out there, but for e-commerce, avoid free like the plague. Okay, that's all for now. Please like and subscribe.